Well, hey, Kane, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you very much to the VUX team for giving us the opportunity to chat with you this afternoon. Thank you for all joining. I don't think I'm the last session of the day.
This one, no, there's two more after this.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know we're getting closer to the network events this afternoon, but thanks everyone for taking the time to join. My name is Robby Richardson, and I'm an account executive and director with Cognigy. As some of you may know, if you don't, Cognigy, we're a market-leading conversational AI platform. Recently, Gartner, in their 2022 Magic Quadrant for Conversational AI Platforms, put us in the Leaders Quadrant, so we were super excited about that. But I'm happy to be here today to share with you Cognigy's perspective and trends on how conversational AI is truly helping organizations power up their customer service, their customer experience within the contact center, across channels, with voice as a central component to delivering customer service excellence. I was glad to see the presentation that you delivered earlier, Kane, on that end-to-end story of conversational AI from deflection all the way through transformation. I think that perfectly encapsulates the power of conversational AI, and I think we can all agree we've seen some great success stories earlier today that conversational AI truly is a new blueprint for customer success. It enables the integrations, the automation, the orchestration that organizations need, right, to scale their customer service, to improve their operations, and also to help gain and retain talent, which we know is a significant challenge for contact centers today. And, you know, part of the why is that customer interactions, customer inquiries are significantly increasing. We know this in part because of a recent 5.9 customer service index, which revealed that 50% of contact center managers indicated a significant increase in customer interactions and volumes in 2022. Now that might be in stark contrast to what they're trying to achieve, but it's the reality, and that's a significant challenge for contact centers, customer care teams, and leadership to keep up with. And according to Gartner, the top two priorities for contact center leadership is business growth and improving operational excellence. And we know that it's hard to grow, right, if you can't scale, right, if you can't improve your excellence, you know, without the processes, without the tools. You can't reach more customers, you can't serve more customers with the status quo. So it is a significant challenge, and it's what we're seeing is this widening of this service, customer service gap. Right, we've talked about it today. We've talked about customer success stories, but we know customers are struggling with keeping up with the demands of customers, the expectations for 24/7, multi-channel, multilingual, 24/7 service, right, or channels that they can interact with organizations on. We also know that organizations are struggling with a mix of legacy on-prem systems and point solutions that aren't integrated together, that don't make for a smooth integration of systems and orchestration and make it that much more difficult to act on or improve operational excellence. So how can you close that gap? Well, as we've talked about today and as we've seen across some of the sessions that were delivered earlier, and with our customers, and by the way, in just a minute, I'm going to be sharing with you three very large global organizations and three success stories where they've implemented conversational AI and it's had a transformative effect on their customer service. But first of all, as we've talked about, it's an imperative to integrate that conversational AI layer into the contact center, to integrate systems, create new business processes that are channel agnostic, right? And when you do that, right, as we've talked about, it allows you to automate those interactions, those customer conversations, and it allows you to improve the customer experience across those channels, and it also empowers your agents to work more effectively, right? When conversational AI is implemented and in practice, it's handling the common repetitive tasks, freeing up your agents to focus on more complex issues or tasks, allows them to have more meaningful interactions with customers, which equates to, if I go back the other way, which equates to happier customers and happier agents. So if we look at this in practice and we think about the three critical pillars or solutions to creating operational excellence in the contact center and for customer success. First, the first pillar is conversational IVR and visual IVR, as we talked about earlier today. That's the ability to handle extremely high volumes of calls, 100% automated in real time, being able to effectively have a human-like interaction with the customers to identify and verify, understand what their intent is so that you can make a warm transfer over to the agents, right? And second is smart self-service, right? These are intelligent virtual assistants that work, that are automating tasks, common tasks across multiple channels, 24/7, multilingual, that can greatly reduce the workload on your agents in the contact center, which ultimately leads to more meaningful interactions with customers, happier customers, and as well as significant reduction in cost. And then the third pillar and solution is Agent Assist. This is AI that's at the agent's workstation in the contact center that's proactively assisting the agents as calls and conversations come in, providing them with the information that they need at their fingertips, at the desktop, to provide faster service, more meaningful service, and more meaningful interaction with your customers. And if we look at that in practice, the first pillar is conversational IVR. This is one of the top 10 largest insurance companies in the world. They implemented conversational IVR among other channels, right, and have experienced significant, amazing results. To date, they've automated over 5 million conversations with conversational IVR alone in 9 languages and countries. This was first notification of loss was one of their key use cases. With conversational IVR, they're able to detect intent, verify the caller's identity, route that to the right human agent, live transcript of the call across multiple channels. And the results have been significant. Their average handle time was reduced from 330 seconds down to 90 seconds, and they're automating 95% of the identification and verification process. So that's had a significant impact on their costs. It's had a significant impact on their customers' experience. And by finding those common inquiries that they're able to automate, it's had a drastic effect on the amount of calls that are actually coming into the call center. The second pillar is the virtual agents, self-service, right? These are intelligent conversational assistants across multiple channels, 24/7, and Eon is really an outstanding example of intelligent virtual assistants across multiple channels. Eon is one of the largest energy providers in Europe, and they've automated 70% of their customer service across multiple channels. They're handling over 100,000 conversations per month, and they have 30 bots across both voice and chat channels that are live in production today. And what it looked like before, right, is the traditional IVR that we all know. The customers called in, they had to wait. The agents had to do the identification, the verification, information lookup. In this particular case, it was look up the invoice status. So it's a very long process that leads to customer frustration. But after deploying conversational AI and intelligent virtual assistants, they were able to completely automate that entire process 100% without sacrificing customer satisfaction, right? So in this case, significant cost savings, happier customers, and happier agents. And then the third pillar is agent assist, right? This is AI that's in the contact center, that's at the agent's workstation, that's listening to the conversations, both voice and chat, right? And when those conversations ultimately are transferred over to the agent, first of all, these are more complex issues because the common requests and inquiries are already being handled by conversational AI on multiple channels. But when they come over to the agent assist is listening. It's providing a summary of that conversation to the agent before it actually transfers over. It's making sure that the information that the agent needs to service that request and customer is available at their fingertips, at their desktop. It's providing or turning the agents into linguist superpowers because they're able to work with the clients in their native language with bidirectional real-time translation. And it's able to provide the sentiment analysis so that when the call comes in, it helps the agents better de-escalate once they actually are talking with the customer. So in this particular case, this is Lufthansa. They're running conversational AI across multiple channels, and it's had a significant effect on their operations. And we all know as with many industries, airlines are struggling with flight cancellations, especially coming out of the pandemic, and it's been a significant value for Lufthansa. They're automating over 1 million conversational AI-powered conversations a month, and it's significantly lowered their average handling time. And on average, their customer sat has increased by 30%. Average handle time has decreased by 15%. So some significant savings, true transformations for these three organizations using conversational AI. And then the sum of this integration and orchestration and automation is ultimately customer service that is loved by everyone. It's speed, it's satisfaction at scale, it's significant cost savings, it's improved KPIs, and ultimately, what that means is that your customers can walk away with a much better experience, able to say that, wow, that was a super easy, super, fast process. So that wasn't quite 20 minutes, but if anyone has any questions, I'm here with our Senior Vice President of Business Development and Strategy. I'd be more than happy to have a chat with you or answer any of your questions that you might have. So thank you. Yeah, any questions before I step down? Or I'll be happy to talk with you at the table.
Any questions? Thank you, Robby. What do you? I've got a quick question. What do you think? You got some big brands there, delivering. I mean, Eon. I spoke to the team at Eon a few weeks back, and they were talking about the multi-bot orchestration side of things. And we've seen that some companies are quite mature, some companies are kind of less mature, leaning on the kind of technology vendor support. Others like Eon are kind of rolling with it. What do you think are some of the key kind of enablers that enable a company to really become empowered to kind of do what an Eon has with multiple bots and all this kind of stuff, or like a Lufthansa? I mean, you were talking about agent assist there, but they've got bots all over the place. What are some of the key kind of enablers for businesses?
Well, I think it's a great question, and obviously, as we've talked about today, there's a lot of different factors, but I think two things: the culture and the people first, because once you have buy-in from leadership, right, then organizations like Eon and Lufthansa, they can take a very, there's a couple of different approaches, right? And I think what we evangelize is delivering success early on, right? So that ability to take a use case and go very narrow and very deep on that use case, right? And gain success, right? And then take a very much a wider approach. So I think first, for these organizations, the key enablers were the buy-in from leadership. It was the culture. And then once you had that in place, then the technology and focusing on a high-value use case and approaching it from a very deep, narrow perspective, right? That allowed them to enable the teams, build out that center of excellence. That gave them the opportunity to, as they move forward, to continue to expand into other channels, other programs, other use cases.
Interesting. Where did the agent assist use case come from? Because that's something I think it's not talked about that often, but the value is tremendous because, it's on every single call, and you're helping agents. You don't have to necessarily train new members of staff because the agent assist kind of capabilities are there. Where did those use cases come from? Is that kind of like, was it Lufthansa you mentioned are doing that? Was it? Or was
Lufthansa.
It
that Lufthansa?
Lufthansa.
Yep.
So Lufthansa have been doing a lot of things with Cognigy.
Right.
Was it an evolution because they'd already got experience, or was it a particular kind of piece of demand? I'm trying to understand where the agent assist, because everyone's talking about bots and conversational AI, and isn't it fantastic? But agent assist is just as valuable.
Well, it's a good point, and one of the key challenges that we didn't, or that I didn't get into as much today, and I think every conversation that I have with contact center leaders, it's staffing, right? It's proficiency, it's being able to retain staff, to train staff. And it was an evolution for Lufthansa, right? Success across multiple channels, but once those complex calls came into the contact center, the ability to do maybe not more with less, but more with the capabilities and the resources that you currently have, the AI in the contact center agent assist was a huge value to them because it allows the agents and virtual agents to work together in orchestration to significantly improve that customer experience. And what the agent assist, allows is when those calls come in, it's, for example, providing an AI summary of the conversation so that the agent doesn't have to go back and completely review the conversation, or it's completely integrated through extensions into CRM systems and billing systems and reservation systems. So that information, based on the intent that's already been recognized, it's pulling up the information that's available right at the agent's desktop. And then the third piece of it is the ability to auto-generate responses, right? So the agent's working, and again, this is multilingual, this is bidirectional real-time translation as well, which was huge for Lufthansa. But the ability to provide AI auto-generated responses that the agent can or doesn't have to use, but that they're available for them to press send, and it goes to the agent.
Yeah.
So significant value.
Fantastic, fantastic, wicked. Well, thank you, Robby. Appreciate it. Round of applause for Robby.